Hello everyone, this is my daily vlog, episode 18. I'm glad to see you watching. Well, I'm glad that you're watching. I can't really see you. But today I'd like to talk about something I've been thinking about a lot of the day. It's a very dark topic, suicide. Why people do it, and what they endure before they do it, and what it means. I don't have all the facts on why people commit suicide. I don't understand all the reasons that they do. I can only speak from my point of view. My point of view from having tried to do it years back when I was a teenager. And it was never full blown for me. I was about 80%. I wanted to kill myself, 70 to 80. So what I did is what anybody between this 70 and 80% margin of wanting to die does. I tried to overdose. I tried to overdose a couple dozen times, a lot. And I just used a ridiculous amount of drugs, just a lot. I don't want to go into the quantities because honestly it's quite incredible and nobody would believe me. But every time I didn't even wake up with a hangover. Don't really know why. My kidneys are still pretty good back then. They're probably worse now. But every time I woke up, I went about my business as if I hadn't have done it. And because having lived afterwards, having woken up and not wanting to wake up, about 70 to 80% of me didn't want to wake up, I was still in the same hell. I was still depressed. I still felt like I was alone in the world. I still wanted to die because of this terrible confusion in my mind that I didn't understand was schizophrenia, and it made me want to die. And this was before I was medicated. Now that I'm medicated, that helped, and some other things helped, of course. But and waking up in the same hell, it didn't affect me. It didn't make me even cry when I woke up. Like, when I woke up the next morning, I was like, okay, I guess I'll go to school. I guess I'll go to, I don't know, a sophomore, junior year in high school, something like that. Just around that time, in general in high school. Because nothing was more depressing than living, so the idea that I won't try to kill myself, that wasn't as depressing as living. Back then, I've improved a lot since then. I actually want to live now. But this is my perspective from having wanted to die. There's a whole bunch of different reasons why different people want to die. There's instances where they're in much more pain. And I was an addict as well, and that played into it as well and made it worse. But it was always a depression. Ever since I was in second grade, it's always been that depression. But there's people who have greater things wrong with their lives. Their parents might beat them up as a child. They may have harsh family life even when they get older and still receive beatings. They may not have any chance in school, either through lack of intelligence or lack of opportunity. There's an infinite amount of reasons people might not want to live anymore because it's so painful. But my advice to anybody who's thinking about suicide, whether you want to learn about it or whether you're actually considering it, and I have those times when I'm reaching that dark place again, but I've never quite been all the way there. My advice is that it is better to live with the tiniest possibility that you'll find some happiness in this world, even granted with all the pain, than it is to completely give up and have absolutely no chance that happiness will come about. And happiness isn't always the most realistic way to look at life. That might sound strange, but sometimes we have to settle for contentment and understanding and a calmness in the way that your life is. And sometimes that's what we have to settle for. And that's one of the things that I think I've settled for. I'm happy more often than I've ever been, but sometimes I'm just content. And I'm not completely happy with my life, but I am content about it. And coming to terms with the variables in your life and where you want to go with it and what you're going to do in the future will help you towards that contentment. Solving the problems one by one, never tackling them all at once. Whatever the problems in your life, solve them one by one. And no matter how far into that pit you are of wanting to die, even if you've done terrible things and you're in jail or prison, and you're going to be there for years, fight for the one possibility, the tiniest percentage possibility, that you'll find some happiness and contentment in your life. Because as this personality, and I believe in reincarnation, but as this personality, you only have one shot. Make it a good one. do your best, even if you don't make the fucking basket. Do your best to hit that. And and if you do, you'll feel the greatest feeling of victory that you can anyone else can imagine. Because having achieved something, having shot towards your goals, conquered your problems one by one, and achieved something that you really wanted, despite the fact that you wanted to die at one point, that will be a state of ideological ecstasy that most people won't ever experience. So keep on pushing. And even if you're not thinking about suicide, but you think that your life is bad enough to where you might one day, keep pushing, little by little. That's all it takes. And that's my advice. This has been my video log, episode 18. And if you found any of this interesting, and if you like these kinds of videos that I do, almost on a daily basis, if not every day, please subscribe. I'd love it. And thank you very much for watching, everyone. Please have a great day and a great life.